So what my script was going to be is that I was going to try and figure out how to create that similar light field in that light style and have it as close to the location as a torch is as the center focus. But for the most part, that light would be created from a spell, so that no matter what, you would have that spell. Now, there's supposed to it's supposed to be a part of a script. This script is that anytime you enter an interior, which means like if you were to go inside of a house, I think it's if you enter inside of a player, go into a random NPC house, that's an interior. Technically a cell, but interior. So anytime you're in an interior, there will be a random pop-up on your screen that'll tell you, hey, would you like a night eye? Because sometimes, depending on the location, you need night eye. Would you like a light? This is going to be a more of a work in progress kind of thing. Because again, I'm going to try and get that torch thing because it would look really nice. I'll try and get all the light fields and all that stuff perfectly fine for it. It would be awesome. And what's the other thing? I'll have to ask one person, and I'll find out if he knows of a mod that has this, so I can actually kind of copy what it's doing for it. But anyway, so what it's supposed to do is that it's supposed to so when you enter an interior, it's supposed to ask you a question. It's like, would you like a light? And there will be 3 options. There will be night eye, of course, because night eye is really nice, depending on the location. Some mods don't really, a lot of mods don't recommend it because it just ruins the experience. Light, which is just going to be that torch, as I said, but right now it's just going to be a normal light spell, just until I can build up the script specifically for it. Then it's going to give you that light spell. Or no light, please. So that would though, and that one is specifically just so though, like it'll just kind of just go, okay, he doesn't want it. He doesn't want light. He's too good for it or something. That's what that's supposed to be. Anyway, so that's what one of the things is supposed to be. Is that it's supposed to generate light at any point you want. Another one is that when you enter combat, this one's going to be very easy to do, it's not going to be that difficult. When you enter combat, it's supposed to do life detection, so you can actually see where everybody is whenever you're in combat. So whenever you're in combat, you'll be able to know your surroundings kind of thing. So, like, at any point in time, if you're in combat, you'll be able to see if you're being ambushed kind of thing, and that's what it's supposed to kind of symbolize as. Now, Oblivion's not the greatest at its sort of POV for this, because it doesn't actually indicate if there's enemies behind you, if your character can sense it kind of thing. I think there are some MMOs, and I know there is some MMOs, and I know there is some games that do this, where they tell you, hey, there's somebody behind you. And I know Oblivion doesn't have that sort of same sort of like cool sort of addition to it, but that's kind of what I'm going to be doing, is that for that life detection thing, is that you'll be able to know by looking around, right? And since I know for a fact that I'm not using the Dark King nearly as much in terms of my playstyle, Dark King's supposed to walk up and just go, I don't really think about it, just lift up his finger and then pretty much just kill people just by that. Can't really do that in Oblivion. Mind you, I do have a spell that's kind of close to that, but I have its cost way too high, so you can't really just keep spamming and go, here you go, dead. But yeah, that's pretty much what I want to do. I want to do a couple of cool things, and just anything else kind of thing. So what these scripts are actually trying to do is that, so though, at any point in time, not any point in time, every one of the Dark King's items has a script built into it. The armor does have built-in scripts. These are mostly just to add the spells to you. That's all they're there for. They're just to give you the spells. That's all they're there for. They're meant to give you the spells. That's what those items are specifically for. So when you go into combat, that's when you get your life detection, your whole shebang, blah blah blah. I kind of wanted to do one that increased regeneration, or not regeneration, your resistances, but I thought that was a little bit too overpowered. So I decided against it, but I might be pushed towards it again. You never know. I'll actually still cut her again. Oh, she's telling you how to cancel evolution. Alright. But oh, went to the wrong one. I need to go to this one, please. I mean, technically I can store stuff in here. I'll store protein. I actually did need to go to Pill's PC. But yeah, but there's actually one more idea that I was actually thinking of, and I think it would be perfect as an idea. I don't know how pretty much to execute as, but before the battle regeneration was supposed to actually be a thing, I originally wanted a script-based absorb health, magicka, and fatigue kind of thing. Or health, magicka, and stamina if you're new to Oblivion and more so relate towards Skyrim's kind of conditions. That's pretty much what the original idea was, and I was getting help on that. But the person that I was using to help me with the battle regeneration, I was also asking him to help me out with this situation as well. He got kind of confused along the way. He got confused along the way of doing it because of the way that I structured everything, so I went, okay, well, what about just this basic battle regeneration? So, as long as the player is in battle, they will get, you know, whatever. This is because back when I first learned of the console, not back when I first learned the console, back when I first learned that certain monsters in the game, or certain creatures, monsters, whatever, it doesn't matter, in the game have their own unique spells that only they have, and a lot of them are active abilities, such as the Troll. The Troll has a natural regeneration of 1 health per second. Well, if the Troll has a natural, like, regenerating health of 1 per second, that's pretty incredible. Because that means that no matter what, you're always getting 1 health in battle or without. And so when I ended up giving one of my characters this such spell, I noticed I was never able to be killed. And I never really did need to worry about my health. Because at any point, I was slowly regenerating it. Now, at one point, I was testing my health regen script with the Oblivion XP, because I originally had my Let's Play mods installed, or currently on, I should say, not installed, currently on, instead of having them turned off. So literally, since your endurance or whatever it was really high, so your health regeneration is also being increased. So literally, we're regenerating like 50 health points a second kind of thing, and that's not really helping my test right now. So I decided to just take them all off and just leave my mod on with the combat animations on. Again, that one doesn't change anything, it just changes the combat animations. I am using 3 different combinations, I think. they look a lot better than the vanilla animations. Trust me, they do. But I think with all three of them combined together, probably don't look as good. Either that or he didn't do a good job at combining them, maybe. I don't know. I think that's the switch active, right? So it turns off that one. But that enables the one that's over in this area, I think, right? Ooh, item. But yeah, I probably didn't do a good job at trying to open them up, pretty much. So that's my fault. But I know the archery one is my favorite by far of all of them. The more so combat ones for two-handed and one-handed. I know for two-handed doesn't really work really well because of that's more of an Oblivion, I think, limitation. It's not really too much of the combat animation. I know it is combat animation, but it's also I think it's also an Oblivion limitation as well in a sense. So kind of have to blame both at the same time. But for the most part, I use that combat animation a lot. And a few times I've had like issues with it. It was I think the only mod that had issues with it, and I kept having to kind of fix it, and then it would break again, and then I kept having to fix it, then it kept breaking again, then I kept having to fix it. So if you want to know what that combination one is, I don't know what the archery one is off the top of my head. I have, I think, a rough idea of the hand-to-hand one, I think. I don't want to say it just in case I might be wrong. I think this is the switch I need to access, right? Yeah, because I need to open this door right here. Maybe they made it easier in yellow. But you don't have to jump through hoops in order to get it, I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, because I know the archery one, there was two different ones that I might have grabbed it from, and that's why I'm not saying exactly which ones they are, because I don't know which ones they could be. Because again, I don't really know which ones it is, but I know for the combat animation ones, for the one-handed and two-handed ones, that one is called DMC Stylish. I had a few issues with it, especially for my older laptops kind of thing, where anytime I would install a new mod, DMC would kind of crash a little bit in a way. So how it crashed would be that in the inventory, your inventory would be working fine, as if like nothing was wrong. And by that I mean like in inventory, your character would look like the vanilla version, which looked kind of weird, and it's like, okay, whatever, buddy, you're doing whatever you want, I guess. And then the other type of crash is that in the inventory you'd have the DMC Stylish pose, but while you're while you're actually in third person, outside of the inventory screen kind of thing, you wouldn't be in the DMC Stylish pose, you'd be in the normal vanilla one. But once you shift it off your character, he would kind of shift over towards that DMC Stylish pose, which is really weird. And the easiest fix for that was to get rid of DMC Stylish, put it back in. It's the equivalent of, oh no, I'm having computer problems, let's just unplug the computer and plug it back in kind of situation. That would be equivalent to just saying, just restart your computer. And that's pretty much what that was. And I was like, hooray. And I found that out pretty quickly too. because as soon as I uninstalled it and installed it right back on in, it worked. And I went, okay. And every time DMZ Slash crashed, I'd have to redo it. This was back when I was doing it manually instead of using the mod organizer, because I don't think there was one out. Or back before I think Oblivion didn't have one, or back when I think or back when I didn't know Oblivion had one. One of the two. Anyway, that was a thing. And I got really angry because every time I had to install one mod, I had to do it. And it would fix itself if I uninstalled the mod I just put in. So it's not like so it hated new mods kind of thing. And I was like, dude, I want to play this new mod and you're not really helpful right now. I just went, whatever, who cares. So I ended up playing, so I ended up just doing that over and over again.